Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi everyone, how's life? This week has been quite an exciting week in Disney Parks news, especially if you're a fan of the characters. All three of the main characters from Toy Story got a revamp, so Buzz, Woody and Jessie all have new costumes now in the parks, which is very exciting. As a big Toy Story fan myself, I can say that I 100% approve of their new looks. I'm just going to pop up some photos as I speak, but yeah, Woody I think looks so much better and friendlier with his face, and he looks a bit slimmer as well, and his trousers especially look a lot more like the cartoon, like the films. Buzz as well, Lord have mercy, it's only now that you see the comparisons that you realize how bad he actually looked beforehand. Like, his face was long. I mean, I always used to find his smile a bit creepy, but I don't think I quite realized how bad he looked until I saw the new version of Buzz, and he looks so much better. Like, the new Buzz face is mwah. I cannot wait to meet him again one day in the park. And then we get to Jessie, of course, and Jessie was always the worst looking one out of them in my opinion, and unfortunately I don't think she still looks incredible. Like, she looks better definitely, but she's still not perfect. The new Jessie look in my opinion is still not the best. Thankfully her hair is better though, and her eyes look friendlier, and she just looks a bit friendlier and less creepy, but I think she still is lacking a neck, and I know that's probably a bit difficult to make perhaps, but they've kind of managed it with Woody. Like, Woody doesn't look as bad, especially with his new look, yet Jessie still looks like she doesn't have a neck, and I think that in itself is a little bit terrifying. But anyway, all of this aside, this whole new situation about the Toy Story characters made me think of all the different previous character mascots that Disney have had and changed over the years, because in hindsight they realized how terrifying they looked. So today I want to talk about the top 10 scariest Disney mascots that have been in the Disney parks over the years, because honestly some of them are really terrifying. At number 10 we are going to start off with a character from one of Disney's classics films, Pinocchio, and this is Stromboli. Now, Lord have mercy, the costume for him is terrifying. I actually have a weird memory of seeing him in Disneyland Paris when I was a child, and he just looks like this weird strange man, and I know that's kind of what he's meant to be like in the films as well. In Pinocchio, he's an evil puppeteer, like he's meant to look evil and quite scary, but he just looks too scary in my opinion in the mascot form. Thankfully he's quite a rare character, you don't see him out and about in parks anymore that often, but he does come about every now and again, and oh my god, I do not want to meet the guy. At number 9, oh Lord have legit mercy. So at number 9 we have these weird characters that apparently were available to meet in Epcot over at Walt Disney World when Epcot first opened. So from my understanding, the first few years of Epcot being open, you couldn't actually meet any of the classic Disney characters in Epcot, but Disney still wanted to have some characters for children to meet, and so when World Showcase opened they decided to create these new random characters that were meant to just be like kids from different countries but in a mascot form, like wearing traditional clothes and stuff. The only problem is they were legit terrifying. Like, you'll be seeing some photos as I speak, but oh my god, how did anyone think this was a good idea? Like, the kids, these kids are tall, they're huge, they're giants, and they've got dead eyes, all of them. They look scary as hell in the face. What is going on? Apparently some parents actually did complain about these characters because their kids were genuinely scared of them, and I'm not surprised. I really don't blame the kids. I mean, honestly, I can't even look at them for more than a few seconds without feeling uncomfortable, because it's their eyes, it's their faces, and the fact that they're so big, so tall. Like, when they took pictures with kids, they literally look like buildings next to them. I am so glad I never got to meet them, and thank the Lord Disney realized that they need to put actual characters in Epcot rather than some weird, strange looking, terrifying dolls. Oh my god. At number 8 we have the Three Little Pigs. Now, the Three Little Pigs are a classic, and you can still see them around in the parks, especially in Disneyland Paris. They always make an appearance on the Christmas cavalcade at Disneyland Paris. They look fine now, like still kind of scary, but okay. Back in the days though, the Three Little Pigs look horrifying. I mean, what is this? Why do they look like they want to kill me? I just don't understand. Like, so scary, so weird, so tall unnecessarily. I don't know, just not a fan of them. At number 7 we have Lady Tremaine and Cinderella's stepsisters back in the day. So you'll be seeing in this photo now, this was taken at Walt Disney World years and years ago, and I can't believe it, but back in the days these characters weren't face characters. They all were wearing a mask, and everyone knows the creepy fairy godmother, which we're going to get to later on, but I had no idea that the Tremaines were also this terrifying back in the days. I mean, look at them, look at the stepsisters. Oh my god, I actually couldn't find too many photos of them, so I believe and hope that they only lasted for a little while, because like, what the hell is this? The stepsisters are actually two of the most fun characters to meet in the Disney park, so I can't imagine how different the experience of meeting them would have been back when they looked like that. At number 6 we have the Seven Dwarfs. Now, the Seven Dwarfs have had a big change as well throughout the years in their outfits and how they're presented in the parks, and I think they look perfect now. I got to meet them actually a few years ago when I went to one of Disney World's Halloween parties in Magic Kingdom, and it was amazing. But they have had some very strange looks in the past, some absolutely terrifying ones. I mean, Lord have mercy, look at their faces. They look unreal. Like, they don't look like they should be real. There's no life in them. Do you know what I mean? There's just something that's a bit wrong with them, especially because there's 7 of them as well. I mean, I feel sorry for poor Snow White. Next, we have Pinocchio. Now, Pinocchio is actually one of my favorite characters to meet in the Disney parks as well. Fun fact, I actually Disney bounded as Pinocchio about 5-6 years ago in Disneyland Paris and never got to meet him that day, which was gutting. But what I'm saying is that I love meeting Pinocchio. However, back in the days, Lord have legit mercy. Again, as you'll be able to see right now, some of the costumes that Pinocchio had, especially in the very, very old days, were absolutely terrifying. I mean, I understand that Pinocchio is meant to be a puppet and he's meant to be made of wood, and that already can give a bit of a scary look to him, but it's the eyes. It's Pinocchio's dead eyes. I would not want to be stared at by him, ever. At number 4, we have quite an interesting one, and it's funny because this character actually still exists in this exact mascot. She's a rare character and Disney fans love to meet her whenever she does come out, but Disney haven't made any efforts to change the way she looks, and that is Jessica Rabbit. Yes, Jessica Rabbit, quite a popular Disney character for very big Disney fans, but Lord have mercy, the way she looks in the park, terrifying. Like, what is this? How did anybody think this was okay? Look at her face, look how tall she is as well. I mean, her face especially though, I can't deal with it. I actually saw Jessica Rabbit myself with my own eyes in 2017 in Disneyland Paris during their 25th anniversary because they had so many characters out, and I saw the girl and I was like, Lord have mercy, what is going on? I just don't understand it. I really don't. But at number 3, someone who is even worse than Jessica Rabbit in my opinion, Bo Peep. So Bo Peep from the Toy Story franchise, back when she made her earliest appearances in the parks before Toy Story 4 ever came out, she looked very different to the Bo Peep that we know now. I am so glad I never got to see this chick as a child because I would have had nightmares. I probably genuinely would have had nightmares. Look at her face, her dead eyes again. This is what nightmares are made of, genuinely. And as you may be able to see, they actually had 2 slightly different versions of the Bo Peep mascot back in the days, but they were both pretty bad in my opinion, and I am so glad that when Toy Story 4 came out in 2019, they managed to bring out a slightly better version of Bo Peep. I mean, the current Bo Peep, again, I don't think she's perfect. Like, if you stare at her for too long, you can start to feel uncomfortable even with the current Bo Peep, but at least she's a vast improvement of what Bo Peep used to look like in the parks. Right, at number 2, we have a very famous creepy Disney parks character, one that almost any Disney parks fan would know of, and that is the fairy godmother, but specifically the fairy godmother that you can meet over in Tokyo Disneyland in Japan. Lord have legit mercy. The first time I came across a photo of this fairy godmother, I was genuinely questioning my whole existence as a Disney fan because I just could not understand it. I could not understand how anyone thought this was a good idea. And then I saw more photos of her. I kept looking at videos and searching for more footage of her because I was so engrossed by her creepiness. It's the eyes again. The eyes are creepy as hell, but she's literally a thing. She's legitimately a character you can still meet in Disneyland Tokyo, and a lot of Disney fans, including myself, want to meet her because she's so creepy. It's become like a rite of passage in a way. So one of my personal dreams is to one day be able to meet her, or at least see her in Tokyo Disneyland, because I don't feel like my Tokyo Disneyland trip would be fulfilled if I don't at least get to see this fairy godmother. I feel like I've looked at her enough that I don't find her quite as terrifying anymore, but she is terrifying. Like, she is absolutely terrifying, and people don't seem to see that. People love her in Tokyo Disneyland. Like, people go and meet her, they have pictures with her, they love the woman, and I just don't understand it. It's nothing to do with Japan not being able to have like face characters there either, because they have face characters for all the princesses and everything, so I wonder why they decided to keep the fairy godmother like this. I don't mind it though, and I hope they never change it because it just brings me really weird joy. I have a weird mind and I love creepy things every now and again, so I would like to meet her. I really, really would. And finally, number 1, and what I genuinely believe is the worst character mascot I've ever seen in my life in terms of Disney, ironically, is Mickey and Minnie from Disneyland California's opening day in 1955. I mean, see for yourselves, how terrifying do they both look? What is going on with their faces? They look like they've got cuts on their faces, and the cuts aren't even like done right or well. It literally looks like somebody just took a knife and started cutting Mickey and Minnie's faces. They are horrifying. I have no idea how kids met Mickey and Minnie in that form and were okay with it, and especially the adults as well. I mean, I would be terrified of Mickey and Minnie looking like this, like terrified. And I'm a Gryffindor, I don't get scared too easily, but this is horrifying. Like, if Mickey and Minnie came into my house right now looking like this, I would probably jump out the window. That's how scared I am of them. So you might be wondering, why do they look so bad? Like, what was Walt thinking? Because Walt Disney was still alive at the time, you know, he approved this. That's the weirdest thing. Walt Disney himself was like, yep, this is okay, let's have these characters in the parks looking like that. But it's because he just hadn't thought of it. So like, Disneyland California was about to open and he put so much effort into everything else, like making sure everything looked perfect, but it wasn't until really close to the opening day when suddenly somebody suggested to him, like, what about characters? What are you gonna do about Mickey and Minnie in the park? And he hadn't really thought of it, so he kind of panicked and he decided to go to the Ice Capades, which was a show that was happening back in the days in some parts of America with Disney characters, and he asked if he could borrow the mascots from that show, from the Icecapades. And the thing is, for that show, the Icecapades, I'm guessing it was like an ice show, the mascots had to be able to see very well because, you know, they were doing things. So that's why they had all these extreme cuts on their faces so that the people in them could see. And Walt Disney had no option at the time to just borrow those and use those for the opening of Disneyland. But I mean, I do not understand what is going on with Mickey and Minnie's faces. They look mutilated. They look like somebody's just hit them with a knife so many times. They look like they should be from a horror film. I do not understand it whatsoever. I feel like it would have been better to just not have Mickey and Minnie present at Disneyland's opening, because this is just ridiculous. Fun fact, Mickey and Minnie have gone through a lot of changes over the years in terms of their mascot looks, like probably more than any other character in the Disney parks, which kind of makes sense because it's Mickey and Minnie. They're the main characters that people want to meet, so Disney has always wanted to make sure they look their best. So if you would like me to, I can make a video in the future talking about all the different versions of Mickey and Minnie's mascots in the parks over the years since 1955, even before that, because even before Disneyland California opened, there still were Mickey and Minnie's available to meet just around America. And even though they were quite creepy as well, I don't think they were quite as bad as the opening version of Mickey and Minnie in California. So yeah, let me know if you would like a video like that. Also, please let me know what you think is the scariest looking mascot that Disney has made over the years. Which one of the 10 that I spoke about today, in your opinion, is the scariest looking? I feel like nobody can beat Mickey and Minnie, like, let's be real. But then Bo Peep as well. Bo Peep looks really scary too. And I'm sure there might have been so many other scary looking Disney characters that I've missed out on. So if you have come across or know of a scary looking Disney mascot that has either stopped being a thing in the parks or is just rare to see now, please let me know. Leave them in the comments and I would love to go and research some more, because I love weird, creepy Disney things. I don't know why. So yeah, thank you very much. Follow me on Instagram if you want to, because that way you can be more involved in the videos that I make in the future, because I ask your opinions often on Instagram about what you would like to see. So thank you very much again. I will see you in the next video. Bye!